Okay, we're going to finish up with subtracting polynomials and then a little bit of practice with each, with adding and subtracting. So here's what we have. We have, the difference here is we've got this big polynomial that has some different exponents in it, but this time it's minus. Now, if you think back to maybe distributive property, that's one way to think about this one. There's kind of an understood minus 1 there. And if you go back to distributive property, think about what that's going to do to each of these terms in here. If you do minus 1 times minus x to the fourth, that's going to turn positive. And then this one's going to turn positive. This is going to become negative, and that's going to become negative. So let me erase the 1 here so you can see that. That really works pretty much anytime you see this subtracting polynomials. We've got to do some quick changes, and you'll find that changing it to positive makes it a little bit more accurate. Okay, so we're going to use the vertical format in this case. Now, what I was just showing you there is what they detailed here as, or called, I should say, called add the opposite. And that's what I was doing, having you do adding the opposite of each. So let's use a vertical format again, and what we're going to do is we're going to, as they said, to subtract, we're actually going to add the opposite. Something I'm sure you've heard before earlier in algebra. So one way to do this is to multiply each term in the subtraction polynomial. And by the way, that subtraction polynomial is this one right here. It's the second one. It's being subtracted. So it's this one right here. And I got to point at it here. This one is the subtraction polynomial. And what we're going to do is we're going to multiply everything in the subtraction polynomial by -1. And we're going to line up the terms vertically. Then what we do is add. And it makes it a little bit easier to add. Okay, we'll start here. This may confuse a few people, this vertical format. You don't have to do it vertically. In fact, what a lot of people like to do is just do all the changes right here. You can do that. But let's go ahead and do this. We've got things lined up here. And notice what we did is we changed this to a plus -1 times all this stuff. So this is going to change. This is going to change. This now is going to become negative, or minus, and that's going to become minus. I hope you can see what I'm trying to show right there. That's going to be minus. Now, from here, the original polynomial, that's copied directly right down here. They did skip the x squared because there's no x squared there. So watch that. But what we're going to do is we're going to change, we've already changed, I've changed these up here, so I'm going to reflect that down here. This became a positive 1x to the fourth. There were no x cubes. There was a positive x squared. So, you could write this as 1 or a plus if you want. I'm going to put a plus there. Put a plus over here too. Now the 2x became -2x, and the 8 became -8. So let's go ahead and add these up. We've got 11x to the fourth plus 1x to the fourth. That becomes 12x to the fourth. The x to the third, can't do much about that. There's only one of those. There's also an x squared, one of those. And then we do have a -1x and a -2x. You put those together, you've got a -3x. And right here we've got a +5 and -8, and that comes to -3. And now we'll try the checkpoints at the bottom. Okay, we'll start with the checkpoints at the bottom. We're going to do both of these. What I'd like you to do is notice that this first one is a plus sign. So that's important. Go ahead and add these up in either way you want. If you want to do them vertically, great. If you want to do it horizontally, but I'll show the answer after you pause the video. So go ahead and pause the video right now. So go ahead and check your answer. You should have 2x to the sixth plus 6x to the fifth minus 1x to the fourth plus 12x cubed minus 1x squared plus 15. Now, next we'll try the number 2. Now, the number 2, if you look real quick, has a minus here. So this is going to tell you that you're going to be changing the sign in the subtracted polynomial for every single term before you subtract it. Go ahead and pause the video, then I'll show you the answer. And this one goes like this, 2x to the fifth. Whoops. All right, there you go for the answer for number 2. And check your answer on that one, please.